Welcome back, Pristine Posse. I have been through plenty of trial and error when it comes to standby travel, and in today's video, I want to share with you my refined standby tips to help you get to and from your desired destination. In today's video, I'm going to share with you my play-by-play of how I book travel in terms of picking a place all the way down to the standby travel there and back, and a couple of rookie mistakes to avoid. So without further ado, be sure to like the video, subscribe if you're new to the Pristine Posse, and let's get right into it. First off, let's pick a destination. So some of the things I like to consider is how far is the desired city that I want to go to from the airport? Does the location that I want to go to, do they have public transportation available? Do they have Ubers, taxi, and do they have a rental car service if I wanted to drive around? If I am going outside the country, am I able to use Verizon out there, or do I have to get a different SIM card and do all of that? That is good to know before you go. Now, for the purpose of this video, so that it doesn't get too long-winded, I'm just going to use my example of when I went to Switzerland, specifically Zurich, Switzerland. Tip number 2 is to pick your travel dates. Now, I recommend that you travel on a weekday and you also return on a weekday so that you can increase your chances of getting a seat while traveling on standby. For example, I left to go to Zurich on a Wednesday, and keep in mind they are a few hours ahead of us, so I arrived on a Thursday, and then I got my returning flight on a Tuesday and arrived back in America by Wednesday night. This way you're avoiding the weekend travel, which is where a majority of people tend to travel. They tend to fly out on a Friday, fly back in on a Sunday, Monday night. You want to avoid that. Tip number 3, I'm going to pick a time frame that I want to go. I'm going to look online. I'm going to utilize all my resources, Google, social media, Eventbrite, just to see if this is a peak time that I'm going. Whatever destination you choose, you want to be aware of the political climate, if there's any concerts during the time that you want to go, any sports events, any gaming events, just any big things, because that will offset your standby travel. For example, let's say you wanted to go to Augusta, Georgia the first week of April. That would be the worst time to go, because not only is that during the Masters, but also it would be very unlikely that you get a seat on standby because all of the flights would be full. And then the hotels and all the activities would basically be 3 times their average price because they know that there's so many tourists coming in town. So you want to keep in mind of where you're going and when you're going. Also mention concerts, because I just want to say that when I was in Dallas and I had to work the weekend of the Taylor Swift concert, the Swifties filled the airport from every which way of the country, okay? They all came and it was swamped. All of my flights were full that weekend, and the majority of the people were there to see Taylor Swift. So you definitely want to keep in mind of any events. Same for solar eclipse, very busy in the airport. So you want to look at the weather. You can look on Eventbrite for events going on during this time, just so you're aware of where you're going. If it is peak season, if it's not peak season, that's great, but if it is, keep that in mind. To increase your chances of getting on a seat while traveling standby, you want to go when it's not a peak season, when there's no major holidays and major events going on. Number 4 on my list is book the hotel. So in terms of booking the hotel, my non-negotiables include, I look for hotels that are within 15 to 20 minutes of the airport, because once I have a long journey from here all the way to Switzerland, I'm going to be exhausted, and I don't want to have to get on a bike, take a Uber, ride a horse, get on a train. I don't want to have to do all that just to get to the hotel, okay? I'm gonna be tired, so I want to get there as quickly as possible. 15-20 minutes will do just fine for me. So I want a place that's close to the airport. That's number 1. Number 2, I would like breakfast to be included, okay? I want to wake up and just go downstairs and eat breakfast. I don't want to have to like go on a dummy mission to try to find a breakfast spot. Like, no. breakfast is the most important meal of the day. I just want to go downstairs, eat my food, and then come back upstairs and figure out, okay, what are we gonna do today? Breakfast is already done. I have a full stomach. I'm ready to take on the journey. So that's my second one. And my third one is that when I book, it needs to be refundable. So just in case I come a day later or I want to stay a day later, I'm able to modify without an extra charge. So definitely look those things up. Now, a bonus, which is not a requirement, is if they have hotel shuttle service from the airport to the hotel. I love that because that means I don't have to think about getting an Uber and then the price is fluctuating. So that's also a perk, but it's not mandatory. If I have to get a taxi, I'll get a taxi. When it comes to looking for a hotel, I'm reading reviews, I'm looking at the ratings, I'm looking at pictures, everything. I'm making sure the website is legit, all that good stuff. I'm using social media to see personal reviews of others, everything to make sure it's good. Now, I know y'all wondering like, okay, girl, you haven't even looked up how to get to your destination yet. That doesn't matter, okay? Whatever way I'm getting to Switzerland, it's gonna be free. What's important is the hotel, because the hotel prices will increase as you get closer to the date. So the minute I have a destination and a time in mind is when I'm gonna go ahead and start looking at hotels, because I would like to grab the most reasonable price possible. So that's why I look up the hotel first. We figure out the rest later. All right, please drop a purple heart if you're still here with me, and be sure to like the video. Chat me up in the comments if you're still here. Let me know what you're thinking and some of your requirements when it comes to a hotel. Now, moving on to tip number 5, you must be flexible, okay? You must be flexible, all right? We're going with the wind vibes, we're chilling. There is no room for non-refundable itineraries, okay? I've done that before and I played myself a little bit. So I don't recommend. Make sure that they are refundable itineraries. You know, you wanna have some wiggle room just in case anything happens. It's not only about you potentially not being able to make the flight, but there could be weather, there could be cancellations, there could be delays, anything. So don't play yourself in that aspect. Now, if you're using standby travel to get somewhere important, let's say a wedding, a delivery of a baby, you have court, you have anything like that, then I highly recommend that you either, one, leave maybe 2 days out from the desired date so that you have more room to play when it comes to standby, because you have somewhere that you need to be. Or number 2, just go ahead, bite the bullet and buy your ticket going there, right? And then on the way back, just stand by back, all right? That's like the best way I can put it, so that you can release that anxiety. You know you're gonna get there on time, and then you'll just figure it out on the way back for the low. At the end of the day, I always look at standby travel, which is also known as non-revenue travel. You know, you're playing with time. You may miss a flight, you may have to take another flight, you know, you have to play around. At the end of the day, it's an adventure when you're at the airport, so you want to stay ready so you don't have to get ready. But number 2, time is money. So if you really have somewhere that you need to be, do you really have the time to sit all day, or would you rather just get there? So you definitely have to make that decision. You know, sometimes it's not worth playing the standby game, but that is definitely up to you. Moving on to number 6, let's get into the meat and potatoes of the trip. How are we gonna get there, all right? Now, when it comes to standby travel, I like to use this website called passwriter.com. I will put in my locations, DFW to Zurich, Switzerland, and then I will change it from nonstop to show all flights, so all ways that I can get there. Of course, nonstop is ideal. I would love to just take one flight to get to where I want to go. However, we need to be realistic and we need to expand our options and see what are all the different ways that we can get there. So Passwriter will show you all the different ways that you can get there with all of the different airlines, all the times, all that good stuff. So it's definitely a great resource to use when flying standby. Tip number 7 is to choose the least popular airport to fly out of, okay? least popular. If you're a rookie, if you're new, let me give you an example. So from Zurich, I can fly out of LAX, JFK, or I believe it was Philly at the time. Out of those three, Philly is the least popular airport, all right? Doesn't mean that it's empty. It means it's the least popular out of the three. This will definitely help you optimize your chances of getting a seat while flying on standby. Now, the most popular airports include, all right, in no particular order, but we have ATL, MIA, which is Miami, LGA, JFK, those two are New York, and LAX. I'm not playing with these, okay? It's always busy. If you're a flight attendant, you know you're gonna be working, all right? That standby list is gonna be long, it's gonna be a full flight, all of that. Now, for the purpose of this video, I'm not going to say avoid those popular airports, but what I will say is that if you are playing the standby game, I recommend that if you're gonna use those airports, you need to start at the crack of dawn with the very first flight of the day. You don't have room to play around. Start at the beginning of the day and explore your options from there. If you're a flight attendant, please let the Pristine Posse know down below that those airports are popping. Tip number 8, we're gonna talk about what to pack, all right? First things first, carry-on only. Do not check a bag, all right? We're playing the standby game here. You wanna have your bag with you at all times. When you check a bag, let's say I checked my bag and I went to Philly and then there were no flights available. Now my bag is in Switzerland and I'm not even there, all right? Or let's say I decided to go to Philly and then I changed my mind. I didn't make the flight to get to Philly from Dallas, so then I wanted to go to JFK. My checked bag is at Philly. So, you know, you shoot yourself in the foot when you bring a checked bag. So definitely pack light. I know it's hard. It is hard for me to pack light, but pack light, all right? I'm always like, oh, what if I drop something? What if I spill it? What if I want to check? No, I literally just bring one outfit per day. That's it. We don't even have room for nothing else. I will bring 2 pairs of shoes, one that I'm wearing, and just an extra pair. That's it. We're not stuffing our bag, okay? Also, airport food can be quite pricey, even with our discounts, so I definitely recommend bringing food. There are some things that you can bring through TSA, even if you're not a flight attendant, which includes a frozen water bottle. Once you bring that through, it's considered a solid, so then from there, you can go to Starbucks, ask for a hot cup of water, thaw it out, or it will thaw out over time. So that's one way to have a bottle of water. And you can bring a water bottle and just fill it up at one of the water fountain stations. Also, you can bring sandwiches, protein powders, protein bars, peanuts, fruit, sardines, boiled eggs, and chips. So those are just a couple of items that I recommend that you bring to, you know, hold yourself over so you're not spending unnecessary food in the airport. Also, you want to bring a neck pillow. You want to bring, you know, soap and a washcloth just in case you need to take a little bird bath, freshen up. Maybe a mask if you sleep with your mouth open when you go to sleep, because I do, so I bring it. And a European charger if you are going to Europe. Tip number 9, introduce yourself to the gate agent. Typically, I will just go up there. I'll just be like, hey, I just want to verify that I'm checked in. I'm checked in. However, I just want the gate agent to know who I am. Once they tell me, yeah, you're checked in. Now, sometimes if it's already close to boarding and they know that there are a bunch of seats open, they will have my boarding pass sitting there. So they'll be like, oh yeah, oh, here you are, here's your boarding pass. And then boom, you have your boarding pass, you're good to go. Other times they'll just say, okay, yeah, you're checked in, you're good to go. Just make sure you're sitting by the gate and you're visible and you come up when your name is called. This is very important, okay? Please sit by the gate. Sit by the gate and just wait patiently. Anything can happen, okay? I have seen wild numbers. I've been number 24 on a standby list. I've been number 38 on a standby list and been able to get on. However, what I also want to let you guys know is that Once all of the confirmed passengers, the people who paid, have got on the flight, they will go in order of the standby list and they will just do a roll call of names, all right? For example, let's say there's Sarah and then you're Bob, right? When the gate agent calls Sarah's name, if Sarah is not there, and let's say Sarah's seat was the last standby seat available, if Sarah does not come to that desk, the gate agent will call the next person, which is you, Bob. She's gonna say, Bob, you've already introduced yourself. So when she looks up, she's looking for you. Bob, you walk up there, you get your boarding pass, and you get on. Now, the gate agents, they also have a time frame that they need to close that boarding door. So it's very imperative that you get up with a sense of urgency when they call your name, all right? I've seen plenty of times where, for instance, Sarah was called, she wasn't there, and then we see her walking up and they're saying, oh, sorry, we already gave your seat to someone else because you weren't here. So it's just that in a matter of 30 seconds, it can be like that. So please don't get mad at the gate agent for doing their job. Be there or be square and miss your flight. This video is getting a little lengthy, but please drop a yellow heart if you're still here with me. I appreciate y'all who stick with me, and be sure to like the video and subscribe if you haven't already done so. Moving right along to tip number 10. Now, let's say you played the standby game, all the flights were full, canceled, whatever the case may be, and you're stuck. Okay, this is the time where if you're at an airport that has a Minute Suites, you want to look into staying at the Minute Suites, which is basically a mini hotel inside of the airport. You can also call hotels either at the airport or near the airport and see, if you're a flight attendant, if they have a discount for flight attendants, which typically they will. So you want to look into that. Also, there is a website called Crewtels that flight attendants can use as a resource to get discounted hotel rooms. So definitely utilize all of your resources. Tip number 11. Now, when I'm at the airport and let's say I don't make the first standby flight that I intended to take, what I do from there, I just go on PassWriter. I will look at my next non-rev flight options, and right then and there, I will just book, okay? We don't have time to be sad and all that stuff. Just keep it pushing, all right? Just stay positive, keep it pushing, and hopefully you'll make the next flight. Tip number 12, do not get discouraged by the standby list numbers, okay? Like I've said, there has been times where I have been number 24, I've been number 38, you know, I've been number 12, and there's only 2 seats open. However, you just never know. Now, in terms of confirmed passengers, anything can happen with those people. They could still be in TSA, they could miss their flight, they could, you know, choose not even to fly anymore. Their connecting flight could be late, which is why they missed the flight, and there could be multiple people on that flight. So yes, there may have been only 2 seats available, but now there's over 15 seats available because over 15 people were not able to make their flight. Also on the standby list, there are people who are on the standby list and who book, and they may have decided they're not going to fly anymore, and they just forgot to take themselves off the list, or they're not even there at the airport. So you just never know. So do not get discouraged. Always show up and just be patient and stay positive. Also, if there's a family, let's say a family of 4, sometimes they say, hey, we're not going to get on unless all 4 of us can get on, and there may be 1 seat available. That 1 seat that was going to go to one of them is now open for you. So plenty of scenarios that can happen while you're on standby, so definitely show up and be patient. Now, be sure to like the video. I also wanted to mention that if you all had any specific questions in the flight attendant realm, definitely head over to my channel, browse the titles, and see if there's anything that relates to the question that you have. And from there, if you still don't see your question and you'd like to have a one-on-one with me, I do have consultations available. If you feel that you need that one-on-one help, whether it's for resume building, creating your elevator pitch, help with interview questions, or just that reassurance from an actual flight attendant in terms of getting into this flight attendant lifestyle, please feel free to reach out to me at pristinepores@gmail.com. From there, we can set up a virtual call between you and I. So let me know if you would like to do that. Moving right along to number 13, let's talk about returning flights. Now, when it comes to returning flights, I don't look at that until the night before I'm leaving. Like, we'll figure it out when it's time to go. We got to make sure we get there. So let's not even worry about coming back. That's my logic. So the night before, I personally will look up any nonstop flights I can get to go back home to Dallas. So from Zurich, Switzerland to Dallas, there weren't any nonstops at the time. So from there, I had to broaden my search. The best way to broaden your search is to look up nonstop flights from Europe to America, okay? United States of America. That's the best way, because once you get to America, then it'll be easier to get to your state. Same if it was the other way around. You want to just look up how to get to Europe, and then from there figure out how you're going to get home to your country or to your desired city. So that's what I did. I just looked up, okay, flights to get from Europe to America, and then I saw like Philly, JFK, all these different options, and then I went from Philly, and then from Philly I went back home to Dallas. Now, quick example, when I was in Aruba, there was a nonstop flight to Dallas from Aruba. However, it was a full flight, and I think it was only one a day. So then I had to look up Atlanta and try to go from Atlanta to Dallas. From there, those two flights ended up being full. So I had to broaden my search even further and just go from Aruba to Orlando, Florida, and then Orlando to Dallas. So don't be afraid to have to take, 2 to 3 flights to get home, all right? Take what you can get. This is the standby life. And like I always say, the earlier you start your day, the better, because you have more flight options to choose from. Also, don't be so narrow-minded. Of course, it would be nice if I was able to take that Dallas flight home and just take one flight. However, if I just kept focusing on taking that one flight, that means that I could potentially be staying in Aruba for up to 2 to 3 days just trying to catch that one flight. So definitely broaden your scope in terms of getting back home. Now, my last tip in terms of transportation, I typically use Uber or taxi wherever I'm going. So in Switzerland, they did have Uber available and they had taxis. So that's what I use. I prefer not to drive around in a foreign country. Like, no, I'm not trying to do that. However, for those of you who are interested in doing that, definitely look up the rental cars that they have there. And I would always book something that can be modifiable. Don't do anything non-refundable, okay? Because you want to be flexible. Also, if you're a flight attendant, definitely use your resources, because as flight attendants, we do get discounts with the rental car centers. So be sure to look into that so that you're getting the best deal possible. Those are all my tips. I hope you guys enjoyed them. Let me know if you have any further questions. If you liked these tips, definitely like the video. Share this video with others who are traveling standby. And I have to get ready to go to work. So I will talk to you guys later. I'll see you in the next video.